Recently, you might have heard this news that Mamaearth has filed its DRHP, that is, filed for an IPO. And this news has sparked a huge debate around its valuation. So let's take a quick look at those numbers. According to their DRHP filing, they have disclosed their profit to be 14.14 crore in FY 2022 and the valuation they are seeking for is 24,000 crore. If we take these numbers into consideration, then P ratio is around 1700. They want to raise 2,900 crore through this IPO. ये figure याद रखना. We'll get back to this figure at the end of this video. If we compare Mamaearth's P with one of the market leaders P in this sector, that is HUL, तो HUL का P है 63. So what's going on here? How do companies decide their valuations and how retail investors are getting scammed by such high valuations? Hi, I'm Ruchika and welcome back to FinScalla. Don't worry, in this video, we'll give you insights on the IPO Doglapan. So let's go. We'll start from the basics. I know सभी को पता है कि IPO क्या होता है, but for the beginners, जब एक प्राइवेट कंपनी को पब्लिक कंपनी में ट्रांजिशन करना होता है तो कंपनी मार्केट में नए शेयर्स इशू करती है या फिर जो उसके स्टेक होल्डर्स है वो खुद के शेयर्स यहाँ पे बेच देते हैं. We'll tell you a crazy trivia. Chris Sacca's lowercase funds had invested $2.45 million in Uber, and after the IPO, his stake was worth $2 billion, which is humongous 80,000% returns on investment. So let's get started with our first point. Companies ये valuation decide कैसे करती है? IPO through funds raise करना ये कंपनी के फंडिंग प्रोसेस का सबसे लास्ट स्टेज है. Before IPOs, companies go through various funding routes where they raise money from private investors, VCs, etc. So let's go ahead and discuss these funding rounds in detail. ये rounds generally 3 categories में होते हैं: pre-seed, seed, and then series funding round. Let's understand pre-seed funding. It's a type of funding that helps entrepreneurs take their first step towards turning their ideas into reality. ये एक early stage funding है, which is usually provided by friends, family, or other informal investors. And it's designed to help entrepreneurs validate their business concept and build a minimum viable product. Next comes seed funding. आपने Shark Tank India जरूर देखा होगा. ये उस टाइप की फंडिंग है जहाँ पे एंजल इन्वेस्टर्स अपना पैसा लगाते हैं. ये फंडिंग तब होता है जब कंपनी कंसिडरेबल अमाउंट ऑफ रेवेन्यू जनरेट करने में सक्सेसफुल हुई हो. सो ये फंड्स यूजुअली फर्दर ग्रोथ, मार्केट रिसर्च या प्रोडक्ट को फाइन ट्यून करने में यूज होता है. देन कम्स द सीरीज राउंड, जो अक्सर आप न्यूज आर्टिकल्स लाइक ईटी, बिजनेस स्टैंडर्ड में पढ़ते हैं, जहां मेनली VCs पैसा पंप करते हैं. सीरीज फंडिंग प्रोसेस में सीरीज A, B, C, एक्सेट्रा जैसे राउंड्स होते हैं जहां पे एक्सेसिव रेवेन्यू ग्रोथ पे फोकस किया जाता है. कीप इन माइंड रेवेन्यू नॉट प्रॉफिट्स. इन सारे राउंड्स में inflated numbers, cooked up financials, overly optimistic assumptions या इन फ्यूचर कंपनी कभी तो प्रॉफिटेबल होगी इस होप से सीरीज A, B, C थ्रू कंपनी मिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर्स फंडिंग रेज करती है. सो एज द नंबर ऑफ राउंड्स कीप ऑन इंक्रीजिंग, the valuation of the company gets multiplied or pumped so that previous round investors can make some profits on their investments. For example, company A's valuation during the seed round was X. By the time they reach IPO, the valuation reaches 1000x, but there is no sign of profit. As we can see in Mamaearth's DRHP, the P ratio is 1700. Nykaa's P ratio is 995. So by the time company goes public, the valuation has already reached the moon. Now are you ready to learn about the sneaky ways retailers are getting scammed in IPO? If you're not careful, you could fall victim to these schemes and end up losing your hard-earned money. But why worry? मैं हूं ना. Usually IPOs में there are 2 types of shares offered to the general public: fresh issue and OFS. First up, let's talk about the fresh issues. This is when a company issues new shares and raises fresh funds to use for a variety of purposes, such as expanding their business, paying off debt, or conducting research and development. Sounds like a pretty solid investment, right? But hold on, here comes the catch. Enter OFS, notoriously known as offer for sale. This is where real fun for the promoter begins. And OFS is when a company sells portion of its existing shares to the investors. And spoiler alert, the company isn't raising fresh funds. They are just selling off a portion of their existing shares to the public, और ये मेनली किया जाता है to provide an exit opportunity for the existing shareholders or to dilute their holdings of the promoters. And here's where the scam comes in. Most of the time in these new age companies, ये promoters और shareholders उनके insanely inflated shares आपको थमा देंगे. knowing that the share price will eventually correct. और जब ये होता है, all the losses are passed on to the innocent retailers. Remember, Mamaearth wants to raise 2,900 crore. Surprise, surprise! इसमें से सिर्फ 400 crore fresh issue है और बाकी 2,500 crore is what the promoters are dumping upon you. So now I hope you have understood how early investors, founders and VCs benefit from the valuation process and how retail investors get scammed by overvalued stocks. But it's not all bad news. There are plenty of undervalued and fairly valued options out there. In our upcoming videos, we'll teach you how to spot these hidden gems and make smart investment decisions. But उसके लिए तो आपको subscribe करना पड़ेगा. तो करो फिर. And remember, valuation is not the only thing to consider when it comes to investing.